So operations and functions. So the learner will be able to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and composition of functions. So when a fundamental operation is applied to two or more given functions, a new function can be formed. First, we have sum and difference of functions. So the function, if a function of f and g are functions with domains of d of f and d of g, respectively, the sum of their functions defined as. It's just like addition of algebraic expressions, okay? And also with subtraction. So let us try this example one. Let f of x is equal to 2x cubed minus 5x plus 4 and g of x equals 3x squared plus 2x minus 6. Find f of, or the function of f of plus g, f plus g of x. Determine its domain. So we will just add these two. We have the f and we have the g of x. So to get f of, or the function of f plus g of x, just only get this and this, add them, right? So you have 2x cubed minus 5x plus 4 plus 3x squared plus 2x minus 6. So just only combine like terms. Like this, no, we don't have like terms with that, so we have to copy only 2x cubed and then plus 3x squared. And then we need to combine this negative 5x and 2x will be negative 3x. And then 4 and minus 6 will be negative 2. So that's it. You just only add accordingly with same terms. So when you give the domain, definitely if you'll get the range is for y and x is for the domain, definitely x is an element of such that x is an element of real numbers. So all values of x will be available, will be okay in this, right? No restriction. So that's how we add functions. Just basically operate the functions by adding like terms. Okay, so we just add them. So next, let's go with, so that's element of real numbers. Number 2. Okay, so number 2, find f minus g of x and g minus h of x. So simple, just only subtract the f of x by g of x. Right, so letter A, f of minus g of x is equal to the value of f is 5x minus 2 over 3 minus the g negative 7x plus 3 over 4. So when you subtract, you are changing the sign. So that's 5x minus, but we don't have the same denominator. So we just get first the LCD. So the LCD of 3 and 4 is 12. So just cross multiply. Just multiply the 4 here. Just multiply the 3 there, right? So 4 times 5x will be 20x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. 3 times negative 7x, it will become positive 21x. And then 3 times negative 3 will become negative 9, right? So there you have it. You just combine like terms now. Again, we multiply the 4 to 5, 4 to 2, 3 to negative 7, 3 to 3. But since that's negative, so it will change. So therefore, the final answer will be combine 20 and 21 will be 41x. And negative 8 minus 9 is negative 17 over 12. Okay, so the domain will be same thing. So that is f minus g of x. So the domain will be element of real numbers. So all numbers are possible here. So there is no restriction. Now what about when we subtract g minus h? So the h is this one. We will subtract this by h of x. So let us try b. G minus h of x. So it will be negative 7x plus 3 over 4 minus 9x plus 4 over 6. Okay? So what is the LCD between 4 and 6? So it is also 12. Right? But since 12 can be divided to 4, we cannot cross multiply that because 4 and 6 there is a common factor which is 2. So what we will do first, we just divide 12 by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then you multiply it by negative 7x plus 3. Minus 12 divided by 6 is 2. Multiply it there by 9x plus 4. Right? So then distribute 3 by negative 7x. It's negative 21x. 3 times 3, it's 9. Negative 2 times 9 is 18x. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. All over 12. Then after that, we combine like terms. Negative 21 minus 18 is negative 39x. And 9 minus 8 is 1 over 12. And then the domain, definitely, same thing. X is an element of a real number. Okay? So that's you add, you subtract. Question? You have any question?
Sir,
Yes.
sa A and B po dito, sir, sa example number 2 po, ano po yung arrangement mo pag-a-add at pagsusubtract po sa ano, sir? Sa FGX, like, paano po
If
nakuha,
G
paano,
started with G, you have to copy the G. And then H. Right? G minus. So this one subtract to that. G minus H. But on the first one is F minus G. So your F is 5x minus 2 over 3 minus the G, where G is negative 7x plus 3. You got it?
ah,
You
okay,
just
sir.
copy those given. Right? What else? What about in terms of adding and subtracting, finding the LCD? Okay. Okay, next we have product. So when we multiply, it's the same thing. It's like adding and subtracting. But by this time, we are multiplying, right? So let f of x is this and g of x is this one. Find f of g. So you multiply, right? Okay, so let us try to multiply the given value. So f of g x, you multiply. So 3x squared minus 7x minus 6 all over 9x squared minus 4 times 3x squared plus x minus 2 all over x squared minus 2x. So this is just multiplication of fractions on expressions, but since we can be able to factorize this, we can simplify. So we will factorize all of this and this to remember about factoring. You can use your calculator in order for you to get the factors. For example, you have to press mode 5, mode 5, 3. Enter 3, negative 7, negative 6. Let's try mode 5, 3. So enter 3, negative 7, 3, negative 7, and negative 6. Then equals, you will get here 3. The other one is negative 2/3. Here, you have to enter mode 5, 3 again. Enter 9. Since there is no B, 0, and negative 4. Again, enter the 3 here, negative 7, and negative 6. Here, 9, 0, and negative 4. Then it will have 2/3, and then he equals negative 2/3. Here again, 3, 1, and negative 2. Enter 3, 1, negative 2. 3, 1, negative 2 equals 2/3 and negative 1. And here, 1, negative 2, negative 3. Again, press mode 5, 3. So 1, negative 2, and negative 3. So it will be 3 and negative 1. Press equals equals, okay? So look at this. I will show how to get this as factors. Make sure that your calculator will be same, or there is another one, the black color. Okay. So what you're going to do here it's 3, right? So to get the factors, you will write like this. If this is 3, you will write x minus 3 because it is positive. Here, you will write, the denominator is 3, so you will write 3x. Since it's minus, the opposite of it is plus 2. All over, this is positive, so it will become 3x minus 2. And this one is 3x plus 2 because it is negative. Okay? Times, this one is 2/3, 3x minus 2. Since it is positive, so to be correct. And this minus 1 is x plus 1. All over, this is 3 only, x minus 3. And that's x plus 1. Rather than thinking of the factors of 3 and negative 6 that will satisfy this given equation. Or else you can also apply the rules for factoring by trial and error method. And this is where this is what they call sum and difference of two squares, or a square of a binomial. All right, so since there are same to be canceled, so this x minus 3 is the same with x minus 3, x plus 1 is the same with x plus 1, 3x minus 2 is the same with 3x minus 2, 3x plus 2 is the same with 3. Oh my god, everything is cancelled, so it is 1. So since everything is cancelled, so the answer is 1. So the domain is definitely, it's everything on real number, 1. So, but since we have our restrictions at the bottom, we can say that the domain are like this. So can it be negative 1? All of the numbers except those that are on the denominator. Okay? It cannot be 2/3 domain x such that x cannot be 2/3. X cannot be negative 2/3. X cannot be 3. And x cannot be negative 1. All of these are the domain. that you cannot substitute for x. Question, in factorizing or in what? What if you don't have a calculator
I
like
mean, sir,
this?
speaking of ano, like without a calculator, can we do this manually po, sir?
Yes, of course. Let us try this. 3x squared minus 7x minus 6. So what are the factors of 3 and 3? 3 and 1, right? What about 6? It can be 2 and 3, or it can be 6 and 1, right? So by trial and error method, we will use this and this. Or it can also be this 3 and 1 and 6 and 1. So let us try first with 1 and 3. So what are the factors? So we will write like this. So we will use 3x and x for this. Because 3x times x is 3x squared. And 6 is 2 and 3. So let us try 2 and 3. Okay, but we need to check the middle term. So 2 times x, 2x. 3 times 3x is 9x. Is it possible to get negative 7x if you will add or you subtract these two? Yes, because if this is positive, if this is negative, so you will get negative 7x, right? 2x minus 10x is negative 7x. So where is it? Where is the negative 9? It's here. And where is the positive 2x? It's here. So therefore, these factors that we used here are the same, right? This one and also this, right? They are the same. But you have to use the trial and error method. So we did not use any more of this because we cannot get the factors. The factors that are to be used are 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. All right. Same thing with this 9x squared minus 4. This is called difference of two squares. So the difference of two squares, if you remember, it's all about squaring the first and squaring the second. And then the answer should be sum and difference. So what is the square root of 9x squared? And what is the square root of 4? So again, we have two brackets. The square root of 9, both are 3x, and 3x will be written here. And the square root of 4 is 2 and 2. So one is plus, one is minus. Same thing here. 3x minus 2 and 3x plus 2. They are the same, right? This is called difference of two squares. It's like you're having a factor of x squared minus 9 is x plus 3x minus 3. X squared minus 4, x plus 2, x minus 2. Right? Same here. Let us try this. We will factorize. 3x squared plus x minus 2. So what are the factors of 3 and what are the factors of 2? So 3 times 1. Here, 1 times 2. So only those. So let us try now to put it on two brackets. So the factors of 3 is 3 and 1. So 3x and x. And then the 2 and 1. So let us try 2 and 1. Okay. So let us satisfy the given middle term. So 2 times x, 2x. 3 times 1 is 3. So 3x. Is it possible to get 2x, x in the middle? Yes. If this is negative and this is positive. So negative 2x plus 3x is x. And then that's it. We will have this negative 2 will be here. And then the positive will be there. So these are the factors that we are going to use in this expression. 3x minus 2 is here. That's correct. X plus 1 is there. That's correct. And lastly, x squared minus 2x minus 3. What are the factors of this? So definitely only x and x. And then the factors of 3 are only 3 and 1 because it's a prime number. But you need to satisfy it should be negative 2x in the middle. So let us try 3 times x is 3x, x times 1 is x. How can we get negative 2x? So that should be negative. So negative 3x plus x is negative 2x. So that should be negative and this should be plus. And that's the x minus 3 and x plus 1. Right? But if you have this calculator, if you'll be going out, you have to buy this already because you're going to use this on the second semester and even on grade 12 and you will be going to the university. Okay? So don't forget to purchase this. So you can watch the video again once we have uploaded that. Okay? So that's how to multiply. When we are multiplying, we have to get first those that are same by factorizing, and then we can cancel out, and then that's it. Okay. Next, what about quotient? So quotient, we just divide, right? So let's try example 4. So when we have this value, you have find the f of g of x. So what is f? It's the square root of 2x. What is g? It's the square root of x minus 1. All right. That's quotient. But on this point, if you remember about rationalizing the denominator, we do not accept a square root of a negative, square root of a number, square root of the denominator, rationalizing the denominator. So whatever the number on the denominator, we just got to multiply both up and down, right? So that when you have this, it will become, you multiply this inside only. So they are both 2x times x is 2x squared. And 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x. All over, we just only cancel out that the x minus 1. Okay? So that is the value. So the domain, it should be, so since the domain have restrictions inside, so what would be the possible value that you can have? So the domain on the first one, it cannot be what? The x, it should be bigger than 0 on f. The function of f of x, the domain should be bigger than 0 or equal to 0. And the domain on the second, it cannot be what? F of g. It should be x is less greater or equal to 1. Because if that would be 0, it should get negative 1. Right? So we have two restrictions. So it cannot be. So therefore, the domain for the whole function d of f of g of x, it should be bigger than or equal to 1. Okay, question. That's quotient. When rationalization, you have question on that. Do you remember that, Ali, when you rationalize? Or you didn't remember anything? Ali, why this cannot be from that? X cannot be equal to negative 1, I mean 0. Because if you will put 0 here, the function won't be defined. Because 0 minus 1 is already 0. And negative 1. Okay? Okay? What about composition of function? So there is another one. Is that the last? Okay. A composition of function, you are creating a new value. It depends on its given. So let us see the composition. What is all about this? So f of circle of G. So with this, look at this, A. What's the difference between this and the multiplication? So f of circle of G. If you are starting with the f, okay, the value of your x on f would be the G. All right? So it's like this. Isn't it that f of x is 1 over x, right? When you start with the f, the value for x is the value of the G. What is G? Square root of x. So instead of writing that, you will write 1 over your value of your x is square root of x. You got it? Anything that is on x is your G. Let us give the domain later. Letter B. We have G circle of H. G circle of H. So your G is your function. Where is the G? Here. It's the square root of x, right? But you will not write the x. What is inside that of G is your H. So you will not write that x alone, but you have to write the what is inside H. So x to the fourth minus 2x squared plus 1. I think you can factorize this. It is x minus 1 squared. X squared minus 1. And then you cancel out this. Then you will have x squared minus 1. Right? And then the letter C. Letter C, we have f of f. F circle of f. What is on your f is also your f. 1 over x. But you will not write that x, the value of the f of x. So it should also be 1 over x. 1 over x will give you x. So the value of f circle of f is x. And letter D is h circle of f. That's the composition of the function. H circle of f. So your h is this, but what is inside your x should be your f. So what is your f? 1 over x. So we will write that first. We'll write first x to the fourth minus 2x squared plus 1. So what is inside your x is the f of x. So it will be 1 over x to the fourth minus 2, 1 over x squared plus 1. So let us simplify it a bit so that it would be 1 over x to the fourth minus 2 over x squared plus 1. Did you get the composition of the function? What is inside is the second function. What's the inside of it? So here, the domain should be definitely x cannot be or cannot be less than 0. So it should be d is greater than 0. It cannot be 0 also because it will become a denominator of 0, right? So that's the domain. Here, there is a square root. So since you have to square it, so it still be positive. So here element should be all real numbers. And here, d, x cannot be equal to 0 because there is a denominator of x of a 0. And then here, so x cannot be 0 also. So that's all. Cannot be 0, cannot be 0. Let us try the letter B. If it is 1, because of there is 2. That's correct. Letter C, is that letter C? Or letter D? Letter B, that's letter B. Here. Letter B, because if that is 1, 1 minus 2, 2 squared, it cannot be a value of a... So we forgot that that can be greater than or equal to 1. Or cannot be equal to 1. Or it can be equal to 1. Greater than 1. Or can it be equal to 1, right? Because if that is, let us try 1.2. 1.2 squared minus 2 times 1.2 squared. So we'll give a negative plus 1. So it can't be. So it should be 2 is 8. So that's 1. So it cannot be. So it should be bigger or equal to 1. It cannot be 1. I do not agree on that. Right? Because if this is 1, 1 minus 2, here. If I will substitute 1 here, because negative 1, 1. Okay. So it can also be, because there is 1 here. So x is less than or equal to 1. Right? If I will place 1 here, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So you can still get a value. If it is more than 1, it can be because of that. But it cannot be equal to less than 1. Greater or equal. So that's negative 1. All right? So we will be solving more on operations of functions by solving this 1.3. All right, so try to do 1, 5, and 10. Only 3. But in each, there is A, B, C. Perform the following commands. A, B, C, D. 1 and 5 only. good for 1 and 5. 1 and 5. So you will be solving A, B, C, and D for each. F of G, F minus G, F of G, and you have to state the domain. Okay, so for example, number 1. Number 1, you will have f of x is equal to x plus 1, g of x is equal to 2x minus 3. So A, you have also B, you have also C, you have also D. So A is f plus g. So you will add these two. And on B, f of minus g of x, you will subtract these two. And on C, you will multiply, and on D, you will. Okay? Is that clear? Okay, so let's start with number 11. So this is a composition of function. So the f circle of g of x. Right? So this is our f of x. This is our g of x. Whatever inside the value of your x in f of x would be the g of x. So if I'll write it, 3, and then open bracket, what is inside that? It should be 3x squared plus 2. And then another plus 2 here. Because there is 3x plus 2, right? So therefore, you have 9x squared plus 6 plus 2. So 9x squared plus 8. Okay? So on number 12, G circle of H. G. All right. So the G is here, and your your H is 3 over x plus 2. So since you have that squared with the x, so we will write 3, the open bracket. So the value of your H is, where's my cursor? 3 open, or 3 over x plus 2. And then plus 2. Right? Because there is 3x squared. So if we have to solve that, it will become 9, 3, open bracket 9, over, let's solve this, x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus 2. Then it will become 27 over x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus 2. Or if you want to make it in a simplified form, or we get the LCD, so it will become a single fraction, x squared plus 4x plus 4, and then 27 plus 2 multiplied to x squared plus 4x plus 4. It will become equal to 2x squared plus 8x plus 8, and then plus 27. So we will add the 27, so it will become 35 over x squared plus 4x plus 4. So that's the final answer. So let us start to get the domain of number 11. So the domain of number 11, there's no restrictions. So that's why x, such that x is an element of real number. We don't have any restrictions on that. But here, the value of the domain, it should be x such that x cannot be equal to -2. If I replace -2 here, then it will become 0 denominator. So it will become undefined. So it can't be. Okay? So that's only the domain, all the real numbers except the value of -2. So that is composition of function. So let's go here, math groupie. What else do we have? Okay, what about letter F or letter E here? Let us try letter E. So E is F of circle of G, but there is one, right? So there is a value after evaluating the composition of the function, you have to replace it 1 after that. So let us try f of circle of G. So this is your f of x. So whatever inside the x of f of x should be your g of x. So 3, then open bracket, minus 5. So we will write what is in G, right? That is f circle of G. So then we will distribute 3 times 2 will be 6 minus 3x squared minus 5. And then you have negative 3x squared minus 5. But since there is 1, you replace the x by 1, right? So it will become negative 3, open bracket, 1 squared minus 5. So then you have negative 3 times 1 minus 5. So negative 3 minus 5, and it will be negative 8. Okay? Easy. So you have to do this f. Okay, later, wait, I'll just change the color, the f. Also here, you need to do number 18. 18, okay? So don't forget. So what else we will do? All right, so let's have an example like this. Find the difference quotient of g of x plus h minus g of x over h if g of x is equal to 5. G of x is equal to 5. So how will you solve that? Yes, Ramsey, what's that?
Is it the one with the fraction? Yeah, that one. Wait, what?
All right, this one. The g of x is equal to 5 with the h and also x. Let us try letter B first. letter B. So how do you do that? We have this rule, right? So since it is x, so g of x is equal to x. So whatever inside that x is x plus h. So x plus h minus g of x, which is x, all over h. So then you have x plus h minus x over h. So cancel the x, cancel the h, so the value is 1. So here, if it is 5, so we don't have the value. So therefore, we have a g of h. So the g of x is 5. There is no value of the x, right? So therefore, you have 5 minus 5 over h. So 0 over h. So the value is 0. It's supposed to be, it has, if it is 5 plus x, so you have to rectify. Right. So letter C, if that is the value 2x. So C, this letter A. On C, you have 2x. So 2x plus h minus 2x over h. So 2x plus 2h minus 2x over h. So cancel out. So therefore, cancel this and become 2. Right? So solve number letter D. It's the same thing on what we have done last time. X squared. Whatever your x should be x plus h. Right? So what else? So number 30D. So number 27F. Number 28. So I'll solve E first before you have to solve the value of what do you call F, right? So I'll solve letter E. So letter E, it will be G of circle of F. Whatever your X here, it should be the value of your F. Okay? G to F. So we have 2, so G circle of F of A plus B. So we have here, it starts with G. So 2 open bracket, 4x minus 1 squared, and then minus 3. Then it will become equal to 2, 16x squared minus 8x plus 1 minus 3. Then 32x squared minus 16x plus 2 minus 3. Then combine like terms. So it will become 32x squared minus 16x minus 1. But since we have a plus b, so we will substitute 32 a plus b squared minus 16 times a plus b minus 1. So therefore, we have 32 open bracket a squared plus 2ab plus b squared minus 16a minus 16b minus 1. So distribute the 32, 32a squared plus 64ab plus 32b squared minus 16a minus 16b minus 1. Okay, so that's it. Oops. Alright?